That made me think about Kevin Samuels.
Why? Why do you think about Kevin Samuels?
Amanda Seales, this harbinger of a woman, was recently featured on Club Shay Shay of the Shannon Sharp podcast about a week or so ago. Since this podcast, which I have not watched yet, and really it's just because I can't just sit and bring myself to watch her speak uninterrupted for long periods of time, because she is the epitome of victimhood narrative. She is the epitome of an aggressive black woman. She is the epitome of what so many men find utterly repulsive and disturbing about modern women today. The anger, the bitterness, the lack of self-accountability is just mind-boggling. Nevertheless, post this interview, she went on a spree of talking bad about and downing the host, Shannon Sharp, which is not a surprise to me. What is a surprise is that good faith actors such as a Shannon Sharp continue to give women like this a platform to complain about, oh, everybody is against me. Oh, as soon as I was born, oh, God, it's been a fight my entire life. I was in the cradle and the doctors looked at me and told me, you ain't gonna be shit, nigga. And all this other victimhood bullshit. Nevertheless, here's why I wanted to talk about this here today, is because I did a video a little while ago speaking about her comments involving Kevin Samuels. And I want you to watch the totality of the message that I was spitting within the follow-up video and contrast that with her words, her behavior, her actions, and her mannerisms as she conducts the interview. I think context like this will provide additional light into why this interview went awry. Without further ado,
In terms of what I think I wasn't subscribed. So for the record, I wasn't one of his.
I was gonna say, you better put a disclaimer quick.
I'm not one of his followers. But when I do talk to people that have been in tune with his messaging, it does seem from the outside he was trying to
triggered.
What's the word? Balance out the criticism, kind of even the playing field.
Is that what he was trying to do?
Her body language, her aura, her facial expressions, her posture. She's doing everything in her power in order to try to minimize Kevin Samuels or minimize the position that the interviewer has of Kevin Samuels. The way that she's conducting herself is the reason Kevin Samuels' channel blew up. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. She exemplifies this to the T. She's so triggered by Kevin Samuels because never has a man before so articulately and accurately depicted the manipulative tactics of the modern woman today. That's why she's so upset, because Kevin gave men the blueprint to deal with manipulative women just like her.
In hindsight of men who...
Where'd she get that face from?
Let me put this right. Black men, we are raised in a matriarch society.
You're not raised in a matriarchal society, though. That's false.
I mean,
just because you're raised by a woman doesn't mean you're raised in a matriarchal society.
In our community, I was raised by a single mother.
In a patriarchal society.
Okay. But in my experience, this is my experience.
No, but I'm telling you, like, your experience doesn't change the society that we're in.
Okay.
Even though you were raised by a woman, she's raising you within a patriarchal framework.
This brother can barely get his thoughts, opinions, or ideologies out before being minimized. But notice her body language, her eyes. She's obviously lying. The illegitimacy rate within Black America right now is at 72%. When the black man was removed from the household and the welfare system was introduced, the importance of fatherhood was effectively removed, and the social dynamics of Black America functions just like a matriarchy. We don't talk about Big Papa's house, we talk about Big Mama's house. Women are running the households of Black America by and large. Do you not think that the lack of fathers in the household has stunted the growth of boys becoming men? Black America is not patriarchal, but maybe you're not talking about that. Maybe you're talking about the United States at large. This is not a patriarchy, it's a granocracy. True patriarchal societies don't allow women to work, don't allow women to vote. Women have no say in political issues and are not involved within government, and they can't even wear whatever it is that they want. To exert the notion that America is a patriarchal society is the absolute epitome of a distorted reality. Women have equal rights in our country. They could do whatever it is that they want to do. There are no laws put into place that subjugates women over men. Women are in fact encouraged to participate in our society. They're encouraged to join STEM fields, and they're sexually liberated in our society. So much so is that they can monetize that to become a millionaire on OnlyFans. Here would be a fantastic show. We should drop Amanda Seales and women like her in an actual patriarchal regime. Let's let her loose in Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, so she can finally learn what it means to live in a patriarchy. Because until then, she will continue to create victims in the freest country in the world.
In my experience, this is my experience.
No, but I'm telling you, like, your experience doesn't change the society that we're in.
Okay.
Even though you were raised by a woman, she's raising you within a patriarchal framework.
Fair. Let me try to express.
Women aren't like, she wasn't raising you within a space where women are leaders that
Let
are
them talk.
revered and like that you should aspire. Like, that's not what we're in.
I'm just laying up what I think these brothers are coming from.
Fair. Okay. Where you, okay.
It's not me. I'm not.
Okay.
And I think that
I despise them.
I think that those brothers who don't maybe have the strongest self-esteem or the strongest awareness of how to lead a woman in a healthy way, at times maybe felt pushed to the side, felt discredited because they didn't have a certain status. And I think with a guy like Kevin Samuels, they gravitated towards him because he was now holding women accountable more than we've ever really seen it. It wasn't delivered the best, but I can
That
only
is
from the outside look
completely
in.
false. That is, I'm gonna have to go completely against that.
Okay.
So why do you think people were listening?
I think people were listening to him because we're in a up society, and he was confirmation bias for their uppery. That's why. The same reason that people are mad at me, because I'm affirming a truth that's inconvenient to their right. So they're like, that bitch, she's making me feel some type of way. I don't want to feel some type of way. And who the is she to make me feel some type of way? But the way you feel that I'm making you feel is because it's a truth that you know. But you have to deal with it, and you're not ready to deal with it. Because if you deal with it, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of other shit probably that you have to deal with. And you don't necessarily have the support system around you or the tools to be able to do so.
I swear, you just can't make this shit up. Did you just hear what she just said?
The way you feel that I'm making you feel is because it's a truth that you know. But you have to deal with it, and you're not ready to deal with it. Because if you deal with it, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of other shit probably that you have to deal with.
That's exactly what Kevin's platform was based on. Shit. He blew up with the Average at Best video, and it shocked the world that he called an average woman average. Kevin focused his points on facts, data, and statistics, but you're confirmation bias for people who don't want to look at facts, data, and statistics. Kevin clearly triggered you, and the reason that you feel the way that you do is because he was speaking about modern women just like you.
And that is the fault of our whole social network, right? But this idea of holding women accountable, to me, it's a false equivalency.
Because the reason why he came up is because you said that, and this is only me seeing clips, like highlights of his work.
Oh, I've seen a lot.
Okay. So you're probably more of an expert in this space than me. But it did seem like you were saying the thing of like women having these like crazy expectations that they don't necessarily apply to themselves. And it felt like he was trying to do the same thing from the clips I saw.
But the thing is that I'm basing that on value systems, integrity, right? Your ethics. He's basing that on materialism.
Oh, God.
On your outward appearance and on status.
Stop capping, Amanda. Image was important to Kevin, but materialism was never the focus of his message. Shit, that's why most people thought he was broke when he died, because he wasn't flashy. But they didn't know that he owned multiple timepieces, which cost more than their houses. His message more so served as a counter narrative to the narrative that black women continue to run circles around black men.
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
there's not enough eligible black males who fit the needs of black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because black women tend to want to marry black men.
Right.
So black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
But see, Goldman Sachs actually released data which is contrary to this narrative. The median net worth for black women in America is $7,000, while it's $14,000 for black men. The average hourly pay is $23 for black women, while it's $25 for black men. And while the educational attainment for black women is higher at 33% compared to 29% for black men, black women have far more student loans than black men on average. We've spent far too many years without anyone defending the accomplishments and the image of the black man. And now that we had someone that did, you were pissed about it because it made you feel less powerful.
So he was doing what I think is a very big disservice to folks, because he's aligning relationships on surface things versus grounding them in the depths of our spirit. And those surface things that he was, basing things on ultimately end up being about greed.
It's always about spirits when it comes to women like this. It's never grounded in facts. It's never grounded in evidence. It's never grounded in your results in life. It always just goes back to a place of feelings and spirits. But here's where the cap exists. These women never speak from the position of understanding their own nature. 90% of the women want 10% of the men. That's why Kevin was so focused and so adamant on these talking points of what is a high value man and how to become a high value man, because of this fact. But what she's doing is just simplifying his message to just materialism, please.
And being about just things that don't carry you through when you really are dealing with life. Your looks, your money, your status. When your mom dies, what's that gonna, it may mean that you can bury her in the coffin that you want. If your child is born with a disability, it may mean that you can get them the care that you want because you have some money, but...
So talk to the lower frequency.
The high vibration is I'm emotional right now. The high vibration,
Of course,
is you consistently challenging yourself to live in light. And all those things that he was talking about are not about that.
now she's talking about this vibrational bullshit. Listen, this is why modern women today are not equipped to turn boys into men. Men, please, do not listen to her. Invest into yourself. Try to make yourself as awesome as what you ultimately can. Increase your money-making abilities. Earn a high income earning skill. Increase your status within this world with the utility or your usefulness to this world. Women like her create man boys who live in this airy-fairy root chakra paradigm where they are forever victims. They're afraid to assert dominance, and in fact, they allow women to dominate them like the interviewer is allowing her to do to him. They're scared to be their masculine selves because they bought into the idea that their masculinity is inherently toxic.
It's not about that, because you want to be with somebody that loves what's inside of you. This is a shell. Like you want to be, and you want to be with friends. Like that's really what it is. But we are in a society that is so focused on this outward appearance, image appearance, et cetera, And I'm in a business that's based on, right? Like in showbiz and Hollywood, like
So you
it's
take
so
advantage
much
of
about
it.
like how you look. I remember Keenen Ivory Wayans.
She's simply an echo chamber all-star, and it's actually so forever interesting for me to see that this was the narrative that dominated the airwaves for the past several decades. No wonder why the modern man today is weak and feels emasculated. But here's the actual narrative. Women fought for independence on the back of feminism, and they fought for a deregulated sexual marketplace with the help of a media engine that pushed the independent woman, shout out to Beyonce, Charlie's Angels, No Scrubs. They won. In addition to all of that, the idea of what a masculine black man is supposed to look like, also controlled by that media narrative, was ghost from power. So the educated dudes, the squares, the lames, were shunned from black America simply because they didn't fit the stereotype of what that was. But these are the same women that will call into a Kevin Samuels show with 3 to 4 kids by 2 to 3 different men, expecting a high value man to pay 100% of their bills. But y'all get mad at Kevin Samuels for illustrating the truth. He didn't make these women call in. He just figured out a clever way to illustrate all of the skeletons in our closet. But see, you don't fix issues within a culture and a community by pandering and lying to everyone within that culture and within that community. With the narrative that you push from the old guard, 25% of black women will end up married, which is 25% worse than the next race. And if that's not an issue for family building, then I don't know what is. And family building is the cornerstone of any great culture within a nation. But dear all 18 3/4 women that watch this channel, either you can continue to watch the messages from the influencers that are also not even married, that continue to pander to you to make you feel good about yourself, or you could listen to the men that wish that you were more marriageable. All right, guys, this is where I'm gonna end this particular video right here. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. I know I need to go outside, go take a walk, maybe go take a cold shower in order to remove the dirt, the grit, and the grime of the bullshit up out of my spirit. Questions, comments, concerns, y'all already know what to do. MeogaTutorialsandReviews@gmail.com. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.